guys, thanks so much for tuning into Leah's Love. I am excited and honored to be here with you this week. I want to apologize in advance if you can't really see my face. I'm traveling, I'm making do with what I got. So I'm excited to be here with you to do our weekly Oracle card pull. This week we're going to do a general reading, but before I get into it, I did want to remind you that if you are enjoying these free weekly readings and guidance, to be sure to tune in to my YouTube channel at Leah's Love. That's LIA''S Love. You can subscribe, and then that way you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. I will be doing these weekly Oracle card pulls every Monday at 9 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. So if you want to be in the know and be sure to get your guidance to get you ready to take on the week like a freaking champ, be sure to go onto YouTube, subscribe. I will post these up on other platforms, but I cannot promise that I will get them up consistently. All right, so like I said, this week we are going to do a general reading. I also wanted to remind everyone that I did a moon manifestation using the moon energy manifestation video last week. There is probably a little bit of remnants from that new moon that happened on Friday still. So if you want to do a manifestation that we're going to have come into fruition around the full moon in a couple of weeks, you still can check out that video from about a week ago. And if you did do the manifestation work, awesome. Be sure to keep on reading that exercise that you did about creating exactly what you wanted, so that you're keeping that at the forefront of your mind and thinking of it with the best possible outcomes coming true for you soon. Okay, so into the reading. So this week I just decided to do a general reading where I pulled 4 cards for us. And I gotta be honest and upfront with you guys, this week is going to be a bit of a doozy. I got a couple of cards in protection, a couple of cards of just general guidance. So the 4 cards that I pulled, and I'll put them up on screen for you. The first one was Not For You in protection. The second one was Poised. The third one was Imagine in protection. And the fourth was A Change in the Wind. Okay, so for Not For You, when I pulled that card for us in protection, I really just got the sense that this is all about us experiencing a big loss, like this big ol' L this week, about something that we have been trying to deal with for a little bit of time now. I get the sense that the people that are making the decisions on whether or not this thing or this situation is coming into fruition for us they're just not on our side. And it's really been kind of weighing us down in the back of our minds, maybe in the forefront of some of our minds, but that the Spirit is giving us the message that we really just got to let this go, that we have not been paying attention to the red flags about this situation not being for us anymore, that it's over and done, and that we have to stop focusing on the lack and realize that the reason for why this isn't coming true is because a window is opening for us while this door is closing. That we need to stop chasing the acceptance, and that we need to instead focus on the better things that are ahead for us that we don't know what they are, and also rely on the support system that we have. So those friends and family members that we have that we can go to kind of vent, but then move on, and then maybe talk to those friends and family members about what we are anticipating, how we can see this quote unquote big L, this big loss, feeling like what can come of this not happening to us. What are the good things that can come from us? So it's really just Spirit encouraging us to stop focusing on the what feels like the L. And then the next card I pulled was Poised, and that's just a really auspicious card because it reminds us that we actually have been doing quite a bit of work to take on a new aspect of something that we really want, right? So again, whether this is a project or a situation or a relationship, now is a really good time. This week is a really good time for us to take those first action steps to start a new project, especially a creative project, that we have kind of done all of the prep work and that we have the wisdom and the knowledge that we need to be successful in this endeavor. And so we have to approach these situations with a lot of confidence and the knowing that we have the skill, that now is a good time to kind of take off and fly. And then the next card I got was Imagine in protection. That speaks to, again, a little bit of what we were talking about in the first card that we got in protection with Not For You, which was all about us kind of focusing on what it is that we don't want. with Imagine and Protection, this is a signal that we've been spending way too much time focusing on the worst case scenarios. We've been imagining wrong, basically, right? Like we need to imagine right. So instead of being stuck in the idea of what has like replaying in our head that tape of what could go wrong or what has gone wrong, we need to change and reposition to start thinking about what can go right or what can go in a different direction and how we can create those outcomes. That we need to use the power of our imagination. And when I pulled this card, I also saw a moon in this card. There's actually moons throughout this entire reading, which I think is really a signal to us to focus on that big manifestation, especially for those of us that did the manifestation work last week with the moon energy, that dream, that goal, we should really be focusing on imagining that in the most positive of lights. Like any sort of like thought or feelings about that situation that gives us any sort of like yucky feeling on the inside, cast it aside, throw it away. That's not going to help us. It's not going to serve us. Let it go. Instead, reposition and focus on focus on it in a way that makes us feel good. And I just had the idea that, you know, if you need to, maybe take like a Post-it note or a couple of pieces of paper or something and just write 1 or 2 words and post them in a place that you look all day long, like above your computer, even in your, like in, you know, the mirror in your bathroom, or like across the wall across your toilet or something, or like where you cook, like on your TV, someplace that you look at constantly. Post a couple of words that make you feel good about that thing that you're trying to create, okay? And so that will help us kind of trigger ourselves or get ourselves in a better habit of imagining in a way that's conducive to our well-being instead of always imagining in a way that is not conducive to our well-being. And then the last card that I pulled was a change in the wind in protection. And a change in the wind, I'm sorry, it wasn't in protection, just a change in the wind, but it is a card that is really like a warning card, which is why the word protection came up. It's a card that like a whole bunch of stuff is gonna get all mixed up. There is a big change coming and we might not be ready for it, in the sense that we might not be emotionally or mentally ready for it. We weren't really expecting it, or we're expecting it, but like it comes and we're like, oh no, now we have 1,000,001 things to do. And it really talks about the idea of us being held on or like lashing on to like the past and not being open to acceptance of change. And so now Spirit's telling you, listen, you sense this change is coming, it's coming, deal with it, be prepared. And, you know, a lot of times when change comes, like I said, we get this sense of like, kind of like fright, like we like our routine, we like our normalcy, and we get this sense of like wanting to hold on to dear life of what we know, because it's comforting to hold on to what we know. But we have to remember that when change comes, like when a wind blows, it like puts things in chaos a little bit, but it also organizes things, right? Like a wind blowing on a farm like spreads the seeds, right? Like a change like the wind kind of reorganizes things, and it's like a reset and kind of like a new start. So instead of thinking of this big change that's coming, when it happens, instead of being like in shock or like catatonic or concerned about all the things that are coming, embrace it and know what's coming and kind of go with the flow, go with the wind. Because as I said, like when we pulled this card, when we pulled Poised and Not For You, it's really just telling us that change is coming, and the changes are bigger than we could have even imagined. Like it feels weird and it feels awkward because we're not used to it, but there are changes that are coming that are going to bring in better things in our lives than we could have imagined for ourselves. And that is kind of the message for the whole week, right? So as we look at Not For You and Protection, Poise, Imagine and Protection, and then Change in the Wind, as we look at all these cards, it really is just Spirit saying to us, hey, listen, I know that you've had this big thing weighing in your heart. You feel like you've lost it, and now you have nothing left, or now, you know, you're looking to yourself like, now what? But that's not it. Like, that's not it. It was never meant for you. You didn't pay attention to the red flags that wasn't meant for you in the first place. And there's actually something that you have been preparing for, whether you know it or not, that you're actually ready to take on and do now. So do that. And as you do it, you think about it with the most pleasant and positive outcomes possible. You don't think about it in detrimental terms, and then you hold on because you know that what's coming next, even though it feels chaotic, is actually destined, it's actually perfect, and it's happening in perfect timing. Okay, so those are the messages that Spirit has for us this week. As I mentioned, I know it's going to be a little bit of a doozy this week, but like recognize that you need to call upon your guides and spirits, your ancestors, whatever entity it is that you believe in, call upon them and ask for help this week. Whenever you're feeling vulnerable, whenever you're feeling like it's too much to handle, whenever you're feeling like it's too much change too quick, you are ready. Spirit has shown us that you are ready. And so you just have to believe it, know it, and call upon the help that is in the spirit realm waiting for you to give them permission to help you. Okay, so anyhow, I'm wishing you guys the most amazing week. If as you go through your week, or even as you start it, if you have thoughts and feelings about this reading, or if you'd like some guidance from me, hit a sister up, let me know. I'm always here to help and with an open and warm heart. So anyhow, I'm sending you guys all the love and wishing you the best week ever. Take it easy. Bye.